Fellas, it's very cold today. It's very cold outside, like extremely cold. I got inside the car and it's very hot. It's getting warmer and warmer and warmer. I had a beanie on my head. I removed it. I'm very confused right now. I have a question for you though. Is it better to be colonized and mistreated by a colonizer than being mistreated by who you perceive as your brother? Will it be more acceptable that a colonizer mistreats you, acts toward you with resentment, than having your brother or somebody that looks like your brother or somebody who actually really is your brother treating you like you're a piece of nothing because you ask questions? In this channel, fellas, thank you very much for stopping. We don't sugarcoat. We tell things the way they are. I think that's one of the reasons why some of the people really like us, because we don't sugarcoat. I'm always going to try to tell you the truth. I don't care what it sounds like. I know sometimes it may sound like a punch in the face, but if it moves us forward, I'm going to say it. You know, are Africans really victims like they're portrayed to be? I'm sorry, I need to use that word, portray, because that's what we hear all the time. We've been colonized, we've been enslaved, we've been tribalized, we've been beaten up, we've been looted, we've been oppressed. Okay, is it true? Yes, it's happened. Does that mean that's the mother of all the problems that we have? Do Africans oppress each other? Do Africans treat each other with no respect? Sometimes. Do Africans push each other into ugly corners just because they have power? Question mark. Let me ask you a question. If you go overseas, any other European country, and you try to express yourself, and they lock you up because you're trying to tell the truth. You say, where's my bag? I can't see my bag. I'm at the airport. They lock you up because you were vocal. I know such thing rarely happens, but let's say it happened. What are you going to say? It's racism, right? Okay, probably racism. How come they push you in a corner and mistreat you this way? It's probably because you're not white. But what do we say when Africans throw other Africans in jail because they're expressing themselves in a way that is absolutely correct? What do you say of government that beat people up, torture their own people, mute their own people, put objects in the behinds of their people because they're asking for transparency and equality? In Africa, is that racism? Is that tribalism? What is that? Now, we are always the first people to go to other people's countries and say, oh, you're not treating us well, or this is racism, or the police is stopping us because of this. Now, how many times the police stop people in Africa and beat them up? Okay, maybe not driver's license registration like in America, but how many times when a government official or the president or somebody up there sends them to do something wrong to somebody, it happened? It does happen. We are in Togo. Yes, Togo. Okay? Amazing people. I'm not going to talk about the country. Let me talk about the people. They treated me really well when I went to Togo. I enjoyed it. It's a beautiful place. You learn a lot about voodoo. You know voodoo? You heard of voodoo? Voodoo, yes. You call it black magic. Well, it's not necessarily black magic. It's a religion, an African religion that extended to Haiti and all these many other Caribbean countries. Is it effective? Yes, it works. Don't play with that stuff. Anyway, Togo and Benin, brothers. Togo is currently experiencing significant political unrest, fellas. There's mayhem, havoc happening in Togo. People are very angry. They went down the street. Why? Asking the president for Nyasimbe, who's been ruling the country for a long time, to leave. Okay? They want him to resign. They're tired of him. He's been in power since when? Since 2005. And you can do the math. How many years is that? 20 years. They don't want him anymore. They want him to leave. Opposition leaders in Togo have condemned the act of political kidnapping, demanding Aaron's immediate release. And you're probably asking yourself a question, who's Aaron? We're going to talk about it just now. So opposition say you must free this guy. Not just him. You must free cyber activist Kofi. You must free Sistope Soko and many other people. So from that, very quickly, we understand that African governments do abduct their own people. Aaron, whose real name is Chala Eso Narcissist, is a rapper, okay, a musician, an artist. And why is Aaron known? Aaron is known because he's been very critical of the government. He's been very vocal, making posts, singing about freedom. One of those guys who's very brave. He doesn't just enjoy the fact of being popular and making some money through concerts, but it's been very, very vocal. Like, we want jobs for the youth. How about you build roads? How about new hospitals that's actually functional? That's the type of rapper he's been. Now, apparently, Aaron was arrested on May 26 in Lomé, and this has sparked great controversy. And Aaron was reportedly beaten up, tortured, and mistreated. Okay, and then this is the guy that was pushing people to be strong. All of a sudden, he appeared on a video from a psychiatric hospital saying sorry to the president. He said, "Mr. President, I'm sorry. I am being treated at a psychiatric hospital and I'm feeling better." Now, what's happened from a guy who went asking for freedom, asking for hospitals, asking for jobs for the people, to saying, I'm sorry. Listen to his mom. This is his mom saying that whatever happened, it's not true. They forced him to say that. Listen.
Watching him is as if he's reading a message that was written for him, just reading it. When I saw my son, my throat tightened. I asked, "Did they beat you?" He told me, "Yes." "Did they inject you?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Oh, why did you ask?"
So, before we continue, Aaron was reportedly arrested at his home at 6 p.m., which violates the law of Togo, where people cannot be arrested between 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning. His arrest follows a series of social media posts and videos where he criticized President Faure Gnassingbé's government, addressing issues such as youth unemployment, corruption, and the lack of infrastructure. Notably, Aaron questioned the use of $2.5 billion that the government received as a loan. Where is the money? You got $2.5 billion. Where is the money? So, World Bank, the West African Bank, Exim Bank of China all put money together, totalizing $2.5 billion. You probably want to understand what kind of loan are we talking about. Well, many African countries, when they have a project like building an hospital, they will ask for a loan. From who? From entities such as external banks, from IMF, from World Bank, from another country. That's what they do. Then they will reimburse the money either with minerals or they will reimburse the money with interest. Togo asked the money to expand electricity access, especially in rural areas. So they said, "Give us money, we want to put electricity." Was the electricity put? No. Togo asked the money for water and sanitation, improving access to clean drinking water for the people. Has this been achieved? No. Togo asked loan money for health and education. The goal was to construct and rehabilitate schools and health centers. Has this been achieved? No. While Togo asked for a loan in $2.5 billion to invest in food production and farmers' income. Has this been done? No. Togo asked for loan, from this institution to fund entrepreneurship and create jobs for youth. Has this been done? Absolutely no. This is what this guy was talking about. Then he asked for people to go in the street and protest. Kindly, don't create havoc, but protest. Ask questions. Where is the $2.5 billion? Because generally in Africa, when they ask for loans like that, with decent and genuine reasons, hospital, we want to build schools, we want to build roads. When the money comes, oh, my brother, they forget all that. They start spending money on themselves. They get second, third, fourth wife, second SUV, Jeep, Range Rover, and they look like superstars. Oh, but matter of fact, politicians in Africa look like music stars. Yes, they look like actors. That's how they behave. It's crazy. You'll see a politician in Africa, before he becomes a politician, he's just a normal guy. After getting into politics, big houses, building stuff, 4th level, 5 level building. It's crazy. And people don't question them. People have no courage to question them, because even sometimes if you question the wrong person, you're gone. I'm sorry, but I gotta tell you the truth. You disappear. They will either ask some general to take you. It's crazy, because if you're just making a very simple noise, they will take you somewhere, beat you up, and release you. Now, if your noise is persistent and it's questioning the right thing, that's when they make you disappear. Now, let's talk about the psychiatric hospital again. Was this guy really psychiatrically in need, or do you think he was put in there and forced, like his mom mentioned? Let's learn about the president of Togo. This is the president. Good looking man, as you can see, he's got nice vibes and stuff. He came into power in 2005, replacing his dad. Okay, his dad was president. He had been there for 38 years. That was his father, from 1968 to 2005, to his death. As a president in Togo, you normally have 5-year term. You can be president for 5 years, for 2 terms. But the father abolished this in 2023 because he had been there for a long time and he was tired of finding excuses why he's still in power. Then he abolished that, saying, okay, you can be president for as much as you like. In 2003, the father abolished that law because he was tired of being questioned. He just wanted it to run and run, not knowing that in 2005, he will be dead. In 2005, he passed away. His son took the power. As we said earlier, it's 5-year term. His son took power in 2005. He ran until 2010, 1 term. The second term from 2010 to 2015. And from 2015, he won the election again till 2020. However, in 2019, something interesting happened. They reversed the law that his father brought of staying in power forever. Now, they said from now on, the term is going to be 5 years, but they're going to be limited to 2 terms only. People clapped their hand. Yes, pick up my coffee. Pick up my coffee because it's a good thing, right? Well, okay, stop. Not too fast. Not too fast. Even though they say it's 5-year term, only 2 times max, they reset his terms, meaning he ran for presidency again. They said, okay, even though it's 5 terms, all the terms you have passed before, which are 3, will not be considered. You're starting again at fresh in 2020. Now, from 2020 to 2025, he is eligible to run for election. But then something very interesting happened because they realized, you know what, we cannot continue changing the laws for you to stay in power. We need to create something interesting. What did they create? They made a key constitutional change. The new law said the president is now chosen by parliament rather through direct elections. Did you hear that? People will not choose the president anymore. Just a bunch of people, 100 and something, will choose who the president of the republic will be. So imagine, you as a country, you as a citizen, you lack the fact of choosing your president, right? Well, that is taken away from you. You cannot choose the president anymore. Only the people you vote in parliament, which are 113 people, can actually vote who the president is going to be. Let's talk about the parliament. Parliament is 113 people, and the ruling party in Togo, the UNIR, they have a dominant position in National Assembly. They had won 108 out of 113 places. You see that? 108 out of 113. What does that mean? That means 95% of seats. So in other words, since the parliament votes who the president is going to be, who are going to be voting with the president? It's UNIR, because they are 108 out of 113. Matter of fact, let me just quickly read for you how many other people from other parties. There's ADD party, they have 2 seats. They have National Alliance Change, they have 1 seat. There's Dynamic Majority, they have 1 seat. Democratic Force have 1 seat. The other ones, they have 108 seats. So let's make it clear. They changed the law. The law means only parliament can now select who the president is going to be. And clearly that's going to be from the majority party. Number 2, they've created a brand new post, a brand new role. This brand new role is called the President of Council of Ministers. This has been established. And who's this President of Council? Is going to be concentrating executive powers, meaning this President of Ministers Council has got all the executive power. He's literally the president. But this role has no term limit. Do you understand? So let's create something interesting. Let's take the power away from the people by not getting them to vote who the president is, but by letting only parliament to vote who the president is. Who's going to vote the president? It's only the party that has the most seats in parliament, provided that the current party actually has 108 seats out of 113 seats. Let's create a new position, so it can look clean. We don't want to make it look like president is president forever. The president will not be president anymore. He's going to assume a brand new role named the President of Council of Ministers. So you have a president who has no power at all, who's voted by the parliament. Then you have the President of Ministers Council, who's actually got all the executive power. And his position is forever. So you can change that dude that does not have any power or any authorities, but this guy that really actually has power, who's been president before, is actually the real president. Now, many people believe that this is a strategy to establish current president as a president forever. What do you think about that? So that's what's happening in Togo right now. Many people are in the street, very angry, asking for the liberation of this young man that's been arrested, who's a rapper. I mean, again, like I said earlier, should we be complaining about how we are treated elsewhere? If home we are treated like trash, are Africans really ready for freedom? Because you can't have freedom by yourself. Freedom must be shared by everybody, or else just become kingdoms. How about you just go, you and your tribe, because you like tribes anyway. You do like tribes, okay? If you see a president in position, in most countries, you'll see generals, high-level people are all from his tribe. That's how they do it. Are you really ready for nationalities and democracy? Are you really ready for a unity? People will tell you that slaves were sold by other Africans. Well, part of it is wrong, but part of it is true, because it's been documented in some areas, especially around Ghana, that not only Ghana, but especially around that side, one tribe will abject and subject another tribe and sell them to slavery. Because they made it easy. In Congo Brazzaville, certain tribes helped the white men to go and break out the tribes because they didn't like them. Are Africans ready? Have Africans changed? What change do we have today? Let me know how you feel about this. Do you think there is no democracy at all? There's no hope for this country? I mean, how do you change the law from no more citizens will vote for the president, only the parliament? But then the parliament, you control 108 seats out of 113. Then you say, okay, the president will not be president anymore. He's actually going to be the president of the ministers' council. But his position that holds all executive power and all decisions is not interchangeable. His seat is forever. But you have a brand new president who just looks like a president that the parliament will vote anytime. So you can say that he's the president. That's not me, but he doesn't make the decision. God bless. This man right here is the president of Botswana. Botswana, you know what Botswana is? Here it is. Lovely country, beautiful people. Botswana is one of the biggest producer of diamond. Now this president wants to change things, and he's taken a very strong stance, as you can see. This is the very first time people see him in military equipment. At least my very first time. You let me know if you've seen him before. His politics is very clear. He says he wants to have more hands at work. In this speech, he says some very, very important things about development, about delivering promises as a president. Is this man moving to the direction of Ibrahim Traore, General Tiani, and Assimi Goïta? Let's listen to what he has to say.
And I have said, I want to change this country spectacularly in 3 years. So I don't have 10 years. I don't have 5 years. I don't have 6 months to decide whether or not and go to court. No, I don't have that time. People, yourselves need accommodation.
You have to be very strong to fix Africa. You have to be very strong.
And if I'm going to submit myself to a process that will take me 10 years to deliver accommodation to you, then I would have failed you, and failed you spectacularly. So what do? We need to ensure that there's transparency, there's openness, there's accountability in each and every process that we undertake. No doubt, that is not negotiable. And that there is no corruption.
Wow.
And so people say, when you acknowledge a failed system,
that's true,
and you say, whatever we do, we must not do this one. He say he's trying to give tenders to his relatives. I want you to know my relatives. Just check, you'll know them. You need to know them so that you can track.
Changing Africans is not easy. You have to sacrifice yourself to change Africans. It's a lot of work.
Whether any one of my relatives has any tender, you need to ascertain, you need to be sure about these things. So that when these allegations are flung about.
Being a president is not just being in the office looking good and driving a nice car or being driven. Being a president is being in the field and making things happen. And this is what we're seeing.
Because one is seeking to move from an entrenched system of corruption to something that offers us some
agree.
redemption, yet you are able to interrogate the allegations. And we must interrogate the allegations together. And so it's going to be very critical for us to find ways of moving away from this corrupt system and engaging in a different one that we can monitor and track.
Yeah.
One that delivers results timeously, within budget, no corruption. And so we need to look for the best practices.
This is crazy.
And that we will do. If there's anything that I'm not afraid to do,
we want this.
it is to take decisive measures, even in the face of opposition and hostility. If it has to be done, it is good for the country, it is good for the people, I will do it. Make no mistake about it. I declare this and I declare it publicly so that it is known, so that when you gauge and you assess, you understand how I approach these matters.
Very impressive.
And with me, I'm always open to engagement.
Africa needs more people like this. Africa needs more people like this.
You disagree with me? Let's talk. You tell me, I think you're getting it wrong here. And I'll listen to you.
This president is brand new. You can clearly see he's trying to make a very strong impact. He doesn't want to leave office and say, oh, we should have done this, we could have done this, we would have done this. He wants to be impactful. This is clear. He wants the army to be strong. He wants his people protected.
And if I realize you are correct, I will say it to you, but not just to you, I'll also say it publicly. I've been advised by my friend or my colleague that this approach is wrong. I have reassessed. I have come to the conclusion that it is actually wrong, and we self-correct. That's how you operate. Because we're all frail and fallible. This is the concept of bofokoti. This is what it means. When you say that, it means you appreciate your own frailties, your own brokenness. You're broken and fissured yourself. And so, when others come and they approach you with a different perspective, you pay attention. And when you realize they are correct, you heed what they say. This is how you operate in a sane and sober environment. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what position you occupy.
True.
It's called humility. Just the ability to acknowledge
That's true.
that I may be wrong. Even when you think you've got it right 100%, you may actually be 100% wrong.
Impressive.
And when somebody challenges you, if you think you are right and you believe in the correctness of your proposition, then it becomes an opportunity for you to persuade them, to win them over, or be won over to their side. And so I don't understand why sometimes there's conflict. When we engage on any issue, and you know, you assess. That's why you do recon. You collect data. You assess it critically. You examine it from different perspectives. And then you take a decision. But if you go out there, rumor and gossip gets people so excited. Yeah. Even some who call themselves analysts. You look at what they're trying to say. There's no analysis. But you,
this is shocking.
By virtue of your profession, your training, are analysts. Because you deal only in facts. And you take decisions based on accurate information. Not speculation, not rumor, not gossip, not pettiness, not frivolity, not absurdity. That's your job. And you need to demonstrate these capabilities because you have them. And so it's important for us to understand these issues.
Very impressive.
And I commit here and now and going forward to working with you to build the Botswana Defense Force so that it truly provides for security, accountability, and meritocracy. That your actions on and off duty reflect our respect for human rights and the rule of law. Let us build a force, a defense force.
Wow.
That is not only formidable in capability,
Wow.
but one that is also exemplary in character. And if we do this, we will ensure that the Botswana Defense Force remains a pillar of peace, security, and progress for generations to come. I also would like to urge, there are many programs that we are trying to develop on the trot.
Wow.
One of them is a housing program
True.
called Bonno Housing Scheme.
That's true.
The bold ambition of this program
Impressive.
is to ensure home ownership. That no person in this country be without a decent house. And I've seen how many of our people retire
I agree.
into penury, into poverty. And there's a structural
I agree.
explanation for this. And I've said before, we have operated a low-wage economy across
Yeah.
for a very long time, such that a person who earns
This is
20,000
shocking.
belongs in the top 1%
This is crazy.
of high-income earners in this country.
We want this.
20,000. And so you can imagine if you slide all the way down, what it means for the everyday experience of our people. This should be a source of grave concern for all of us, especially for government.
Very impressive.
We need to be very concerned about this. And so when we complain, with good reason, we need to understand that we are dealing with a structural problem. And so we must face up to it and address it structurally. So this housing scheme is an attempt to place immovable property in the hands of citizens, as many of them as we possibly can. And the ambition is to build 100,000 of these houses in the next 3 years. I've said 3. The minister says he wants to do it in 2 years. And so this program is being rolled out in every constituency. The minimum is 1,000 houses. And so wherever you come from,
wow,
you are entitled, if you have a piece of land that you've not been able to develop because of the challenges
that's true
that we all face, you now can, for a very reasonable amount per month, at least put up some decent shelter. The idea is to ensure our citizens have decent accommodation. But we'll also engage in other programs that seek to deliberately transfer wealth, claw it back from where it is, and place it in the hands of the most ordinary of our citizens. It is an obligation. Government has to do this if it is a government of the people, for them and by them.
Yeah.
We are also in the process
This is shocking.
of finalizing the development of a comprehensive national security strategy for this country
We want
in order to enhance our security ecosystem. This strategy will provide us with a framework to respond to both external and internal threats, to fashion effective and sagacious, far-sighted security policies, and allocate resources in a manner that strengthens our national resilience. And it will also lead to role clarity in our security environment. And so I call upon all of you, as the custodians of our peace and stability, to provide your insights, your experience and your wisdom in order to shape this strategy and ensure that it reflects our national values, responds to emerging security challenges, and that it upholds our sovereignty and our territorial integrity in this ever-changing security environment. I am aware that one of the most significant obstacles to developing an effective national security strategy is a lack of consensus, common ground and vision on our national security priorities. This has led to a national security strategy being reactive, as opposed to being proactive.
True.
In some countries, and indeed maybe in ours as well,
That's true.
defense budgets have been drastically reduced to address other competing priorities and national requirements. But we must appreciate that if we go too far down that road, we stand to suffer immensely in times of need. And so we must position ourselves to be ever ready, properly resourced, having honed and refined our strategic capabilities. And so we must take our cue from what is happening in the region and understand that we must prepare ourselves well in advance, in anticipation, so that we do not wait for tragedy to befall us and then begin to prepare under pressure of calamity.
This is crazy. We want this.
Esteemed senior officers, Botswana's participation in peacekeeping missions stands as an abiding testament to an unwavering commitment to regional stability, unity, and shared progress. Through these missions, we did not only help restore peace in conflict-affected areas, but we also strengthened bonds of friendship with our neighbors.
Impressive.
We fostered mutual trust and regional interdependence. Our involvement promotes collective security, it enhances our diplomatic influence, and it reinforces Botswana's role as a responsible and proactive member of the international community. Our active participation in the SADC mission in Mozambique, SAMIM, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, SAMI DRC, evidences this. And we must applaud you and applaud through you ourselves as a country.
Wow.
Turning now to people issues. The BDF has made significant strides in gender integration aimed at addressing issues of equality, equity, and inclusivity. This is demonstrated by the active participation of women in peace and security initiatives on a global stage, and further by the command decision to establish the Gender Integration Office in the BDF. Gender mainstreaming is a critical component of the military for operational efficiency and effectiveness. And distinguished ladies and gentlemen, another plague that afflicts us is domestic violence, gender-based violence, murder, suicides, and such like.
I agree.
These pose a serious threat to our national security. These crimes undermine our development agenda, erode social cohesion, and trample upon human rights.
Yeah.
These need urgent and coordinated attention across all sections of our population.
This is shocking.
And you took an oath
This is
to
crazy.
defend, to protect.
We want this.
And this oath precludes, it prohibits you from becoming perpetrators of gender-based violence. You must display at all times the discipline, a kind of discipline that moderates your reaction
Very impressive.
to crisis and challenge. A kind of discipline that enables you to be an exemplar in society. Of course, you are human beings as well. Some of these challenges tax you emotionally and physically. But you are a different breed. You are a trained species of human being, steeped in certain values and a certain order of discipline. That must enable you to step back, to reflect soberly and sensibly about some of these challenges, even when they affect you personally. And they affect all of us, by the way. Make no mistake about it. Well, none of us is immune. It is how we choose to react that sets us apart. And so you, in the disciplined forces, must be the ones that lead by example.
Wow.
And so we must all hold hands.
True.
And protect, defend the country and society against gender-based violence. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor and privilege for me to be here with you today and to speak to you at this 20th Senior Officers Strategic Conference, which you hold under the theme Embracing a New Dawn in Defense Capabilities Inspired by Human Security,
I agree.
Accountability, and Meritocracy. The theme is bold and it is timely. It is as bold and timely as it is inspirational. It sounds a clarion call for transformation, innovation, a people-centered approach to national defense, and a demonstration of a steadfast commitment to the values that have defined the Botswana Defense Force for decades.
We want this.
This theme speaks not only of change in our hardware and tactics, but also to our systems and people. Let me take this opportunity to thank the Director of Proceedings and other members of the BDF for your dedicated service and for keeping Botswana safe. Botswana appreciate the sacrifices you make, often at a huge personal cost, in order to attain a safe and stable environment in which personal freedoms are assured. We owe you and the entire membership of the BDF a debt that we can never fully repay. So let me acknowledge here and now that I've interacted with the commander on many occasions, and he has outlined to me some of the challenges that the BDF is currently facing. These include issues pertaining to conditions of service for the members, as well as the civilian employees of the BDF. Operational readiness, social welfare challenges, mostly aggravated by the ever-changing operational environment in which you exist.
That's true.
I give you my assurance, solemn and serious.
Impressive.
That government is committed to ensuring that our military is adequately equipped and resourced for the full range of military operations it has to undertake. We will continue to listen to your concerns.
I agree.
With an open mind, and we will continue to address these concerns in the best manner we can.
I agree.
Some of the challenges that face us and you involve issues of pensions, and when they involve pensions, they obviously implicate retirement, which for the BDF occurs very early.
This is crazy.
Maybe there's need to engage on that issue, the age of retirement. I've reflected on it privately. I want us to reflect on it publicly and engage each other and establish whether this age, which has applied for so many years,
Very
is
impressive.
the right and perfect age for retirement. We also are wrestling with issues of accommodation, healthcare services, equipment maintenance, refurbishment, and replacement of your military wear. We may ask, what do Botswana expect from you in return?
Wow.
In your service to this nation,
Wow.
the citizens expect you to be gatekeepers of all the things that are good and noble about the profession of arms. Botswana repose special trust and confidence in you to serve them with diligence above all other considerations. Your first responsibility is the protection of life, and you cannot have your members act otherwise. Any departure from this professional conduct
That's true.
will invariably erode the trust and confidence that the nation places in you.
Impressive.
You are the nation's first line of defense. The nation expects of you to provide a secure and stable environment, which is a foundation upon which economic growth is built. This is because your role in maintaining national peace and security
I agree.
directly and indirectly enhances Botswana's attractiveness to foreign investors. One of the investors who had only been in Botswana for 3 days expressed to me how he had fallen so much in love with the country in those 3 days. And I asked him what it was about the country that had been so attractive to him. And he said to me, there's a fundamental niceness about the country. Fundamental niceness. And I was extremely happy because I understood deep in my heart that fundamental niceness is constructed around the peace and the stability this country offers, a predictable and safe environment, undergirded by a disciplined, committed Botswana Defense Force. And so I urge and encourage that you continue to be that anchor for the country and its economy, and be that bulwark of safety and security, peace, that guarantees the enjoyment of the fundamental rights, human rights that every citizen must enjoy. And these rights, we all must know, are both universal and they are interdependent and indivisible. Human rights are interdependent. You cannot assure one to the exclusion of others. You must assure them all.
True.
And they are indivisible. That is why it becomes a fundamental imperative for the country to ensure that those who guarantee its peace, its safety and security are themselves taken care of. It is an obligation, therefore, to look after the Botswana Defense Force. It is your work,
I agree,
your commitment that continues to reassure investors that Botswana is a safe destination for capital
I agree,
and innovation in this era of the knowledge economy. And I've said it is the knowledge economy. If you don't want to say knowledge economy, you can say the experimental economy.
This is short.
An economy that must thrive on vigorous subjacent experimentation, innovation, creativity.
We want this.
The ability to defy the conventional and the commonplace. The ability to venture into the realm of the far removed, the speculative. And fashion solutions that may not have been known before. Because if we remain hostages of the current, then we will fail to enter the gates of the future. So I encourage you to be innovative, to embrace technology, to develop and deploy homegrown solutions to the challenges that you face. You should always think innovatively around technology and its utilization in relation to the defense systems. And refine your tactical acumen accordingly. Your innovative ideas could very easily give birth to a defense industry that will not only shorten your supply chain, but can also make you self-sufficient in certain supplies, as well as contribute to economic development. In this regard, I have directed that a feasibility study on setting up a defense industry be prioritized.
That's true.
And your technical input is essential.
Impressive.
We need to develop this military industrial complex. We need to develop it quickly. And so we will have to amend the laws so that they facilitate this and conduce to its realization in the shortest possible time. It will present prospects and opportunities for many of you. That whatever we decide ultimately about the retirement age, retirement may only mean shifting from active duty into a corollary supportive industry. Who is best placed to be involved in that defense industry than yourselves?
We want this.
And so I'd urge you to attend to this matter with dispatch, because it presents a special opportunity for you.
Respect, respect, respect. Put respect around my name. You better respect me before I lose it. Respect, 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 respect. Well, that's what Chad is doing. Have you heard of a country named Chad? Yes, they have banned American citizens from entering their country. Crazy stuff. What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for stopping by. You appreciate it. Hey, my name is Zack. I don't know who you are, but this is your first time. You're very welcome. We want you here. We want you to stay. This is home. You want to know about the motherland? You're at the right place. You want to know about Africa, Chad, Uganda, Burundi, Bujumbura, Kenya, Tanzania, South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, Malawi, Ghana, Zimbabwe. You're at the right place. Click on the button. It's called subscribe so we can see each other every day. You're going to be happy. No doubt about that. Okay. We were talking about respect. Respect is very important, brother. You may not have money, somebody was telling me many, many years ago, but you gotta have respect for yourself. Because respect is what defines you as a human being. Well, this is the country named Chad. Beautiful place, lovely people. Chad has said no more Americans to come to their country. Don't come, okay? Do not come to our country. Retaliation from Donald Trump visa ban to many African countries. Piga my coffee. Yeah, piga